These effing unwashed butt cracks that are moving to their strange little girl-by village in Arkansas or Missouri, let them go. That's what I say. Let them go. Like, who fucking cares? I know a lot of white people right now are crashing out. When I say that, I mean the liberals who are worried about the racist aspects of this. Yeah, they're horrible people, though. Like, if they want to self-segregate, let them. Like, see ya. I mean, they're going to have garden hoses attached to, like, rainwater buckets, and they're going to bathe themselves in, like, bye. Like, these are weirdos. Like, who cares? Not to mention, yeah, they're racist. So please, yes, find a way out. I mean, I've been trying to figure out how we can get rid of them in our communities as it is. This is great. They're doing it themselves at their own expense. Perfect. And I will say for that one creator on here that has gone around talking about, oh, we would really love it if black people did the same thing, created functioning, financially strong communities. Bitch, do you know American history? There are 45 million examples of how the second that black people did that and had thriving communities, they were razed to the ground. I mean, I went to college in Oklahoma. Tulsa race riots? Oh, what? Their Black Wall Street there? Destroyed. All because some white woman decided that a black boy in a building was in the wrong place at the wrong time and she didn't like how he looked. And, I'm simplifying that so much. But, like, she was just started a whole race riot that destroyed that community. Central Park was built on Seneca. I'm forgetting the other word. But, yeah, a black community that was thriving there as well had their own post office. Like, when I lived in New York City and I found that out, like, you can see it when you go through the tours and everything. Like, what the fuck? Like, you think that it's this beautiful space, and then you find out, oh, just like all of America, it's built on the graves of people who aren't white. I'm astonished. So anyway, and I know this is definitely not at the same level, but all the people like this who move into our gay neighborhoods, buy up all the property, jack up the mortgages, and kick us out, price us out, everything, like, no. This is the same shit where it's just like they want all the spaces and we have to go start over somewhere else, try to build community somewhere else. And then they get their bachelorette parties together and come into our gay bars and they're just like, oh my God, can I take a picture of you two? You're so cute. We are not lab animals. We're not in a zoo. We're not cute. We're tired of your shit, Kelly, Ashley, Sarah Beth. So if they want to move to a fucking little village, let them. Let them. I'm glad for it. See ya. Trash takes itself out.
Wow, there was a lot to unpack. And honestly, I get where they are coming from. If these folks want to move off and build an all-white town, some people say, let them go. Who cares? But here is the thing. Does that really solve anything? Or does it just create another bubble where racism can grow stronger? And when people ask why black folks don't do the same thing, build their own communities, they forget history. Tulsa, Black Wall Street, Seneca Village. Every time black people tried to create something powerful, it was destroyed. That's not ancient history, that is America's story. And this whole conversation reminds me of gentrification too. People buying up neighborhoods, placing others out, and then act like tourists in spaces they didn't build. So yeah, they can move if they want, but let's not act like that ends racism. Racism doesn't need a zip code to survive.
Oh, let them build a white-only community in Arkansas. They'll find out. They'll find out how bored they are. I mean, without Mexican, indigenous, black, Asian influences, like, what are they even doing? Like just eating mayonnaise and listening to country music, I guess? Like, I'd be really worried about the kids in that community, though, right? Like, they're going to become the entertainment in an evil sort of way. But other than that, just let them have their experiment. They'll find out.
So they're trying to break ground on a whites-only community in Springfield, Missouri, as early as this year. Not literally in Springfield, Missouri, but adjacent. And they hope that they can build one of these cities in every state in the union. It's called the Return to the Land Initiative. And my brain keeps breaking every time I say return to the land out loud. Because there's nothing about white people that screams return to the land. White people can barely go camping without crying. I'm trying to understand the whole return to the land sentiment there. Because it sounds eerily similar to return the land or land back for indigenous people. And after that Jubilee episode recently with that one white guy saying that white people are Native Americans, and he truly believed it and people clapped for him, I'd like to see them build this white city But I would like them to not use any inventions made by any person of color or any immigrant. Like literally everything. Even down to the types of pets that they're allowed to have, actually. Because we don't want any immigrant pets. They have to be from America only. It's just bothersome to me, as a person who is white, to see other white people be so stupid. And the fact that they think that they can actually put one in every state. It's mind-boggling to me. At this point, I'm just starting to feel like any person who is not cis, straight, heterosexual, white, or male, it can't be all of those categories. I think we should just leave. Everyone just pick up, give up, and leave. And let them see how horrible it actually would be. This can't be my reality.
Welcome to Arkansas, where our famous cuisine is the mayonnaise sandwich. Our education level is the Facebook comment section. And over here, sweetie, evolution is just a suggestion.
What exactly would a white-only town look like without the influence of other cultures? No Mexican food, no Asian innovations, no black cultural impact. It sounds like a very dark and unrealistic dream. And this idea of return to the land, that's ironic because it echoes the indigenous land back movement. Yet here is being used for segregation. Plus, the hypocrisy is loud, using inventions, technologies, and even basic comforts that were created or improved by the people of color. Would they give all of that up too? I doubt it. And then the goal of building one in every state? That is not just a lifestyle choice. That is a movement with a dangerous undertone. So the question is, what does this really achieve?
This isn't 1925. It's not a history lesson. It's right now. And it's happening in Missouri. A group called Return to the Land, a so-called private membership community, is trying to expand into the state. On the surface, they talk about ancestral values and traditional living. But you look closer, and you'll see exactly what this is. It's a whites-only community. There's no diversity, no inclusion, not even Jewish people are allowed in. They already have land in northeast Arkansas, and now they're looking to set up shop in Missouri. And their founders say they've already talked to attorneys who believe they have a legal argument for all of this, based on quote-unquote freedom of association, which means they're ready to take this to the courts. And with the current makeup of the United States Supreme Court, that should concern everybody. Because if they win, that sets the stage for more of these communities. More modern segregation, fully legal, state by state. One of their recruiting videos shows a bunch of guys doing pull-ups in the woods, chopping trees, talking about building a future. They frame it as safety, family, and tradition. But what they really mean is, as long as everyone looks like them, they're fine with it. This is how it starts. They find a legal loophole, claim it's about culture, and hope the courts give them cover. So, Missouri, are we going to let this happen? Because if we don't speak up now, this doesn't end here. It spreads. Call your lawmakers. Share this story. Let Missouri be the line.
We are all so excited about this whites-only community that is coming, to cities near us. So we have been spitfiring ideas, okay? So we were thinking that they should definitely, build the swamp around and fill it with alligators so no one can get in and bother them. But I also, I don't want to be racially profiled when it comes to that. So I think we need to, they need to have tags or something, right? So, how they tag cattle by the ear? They need to have a tag that says belongs to all white community. So we know, as normal human beings out here in the real fucking world, when one of them escapes, okay, when they come into this community, not where they belong, right? So we need to make sure that we can get them transported back, where they came from. Because, we don't want them here. You know what I'm saying? I hope y'all, I don't know if y'all thought this through, though. Because, I don't know who's going to deliver to your community. You're probably going to have your own, mail center. Probably going to have your own Amazon. Because y'all can't order from Amazon. Because, some of their delivery drivers are brown and black. And the people, oh God, don't let the brown and black people be the ones that are picking, like, you know, your orders, and packaging them to send, because, like, you don't want them to touch your stuff. Like, that's crazy talk. Also, like, I hope you'll have an all-white Walmart, but, like, without the brown people, like, I don't know who's going to be working, you know. I don't know, guys. That's a tough one. Like, y'all got a lot to figure out. But I'm here to help. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get this up off the ground for y'all, because I want to make sure that this thing happens. We're all excited. If you go back to that video, you'll see in the comments how all excited we are that you guys are going to get the hell out of here.
This isn't some old history lesson from 1925. This is happening right now, and they've even got attorneys lined up to argue that this is about freedom of association. And let's be real, if the courts buy that argument, it opens the door for modern day segregation to become legal in America. That's a scary thought. It's not just about one little town in Missouri. It's about setting a precedent that spreads across the country. And the way they market it, talking about safety, family, tradition, it's all coded language for exclusion. And then the second clip, honestly, nails the hypocrisy in the funniest way possible. Because if they want to create an all-white society, they would have to give up a lot of more than they realize. No Amazon, no delivery drivers, no Walmart, no modern convenience that relies on diversity. The reality is, this idea falls apart the moment you think it through. They can't isolate themselves from the very people who keep the society running. So here is a bigger question. Is this about building a community? Or is it about creating a bubble that looks like 1950s America? And if the law sides with them, what does that mean for the future of inclusion?
Segregation is back in the United States because now white-only and straight-only towns are popping up across the country, and the government is allowing it. In Arkansas, there was a town that was started by about 50 millennials with their children that they call Return to the Land, which is fucking wild. Not a single thought was put into this name, because if they were really returning to the land, they'd be going back to Europe. But that's not the only crazy thing. They're claiming that they're doing this for their children because they want them to be raised with white, straight Christian values. What is that? Not only that, like, it gets better. You don't think it can, but it can. They were interviewed and asked why they don't let other groups in. And they said explicitly, it's not because we hate other people. It's because we love each other so much. And not only that, they have so many supporters across the country. So many. They set up a GoFundMe, and anytime there is a new kid born in this settlement, they get thousands of dollars from this GoFundMe. If you haven't seen this yet, you need to look it up because this is wild.
I support the idea of a whites-only town, but only because I want those racist bigots out of my city. If all of the racists live in one little town, honestly, you're doing us a community service because we don't want you here. It's so funny to watch white supremacists get pressed over the fact that we don't give a fuck that they are creating their own little whites-only town. Like, if you're gonna be a racist bigot, honestly, I think the best thing you can do is go create your own little town so we don't have to deal with you. If all of the bigots live in one town, I know where to avoid and who not to talk to. At that point, you're doing community service.
Segregation is being repackaged and sold as traditional living. And the irony here is huge. Return to the land? If they really meant that, they would be back to Europe, not building gated communities in Arkansas. And that excuse is not because we hate others, it's because we love each other so much. That is just a softer way of saying the same old thing. Keep everyone else out. And the GoFundMe part? That shows this isn't just a random idea. There is a real man and real support behind it. That is what makes this more than a joke. It's a movement. Now, some people think this is a win. Like, great, all racists can go live in one place and leave the rest of us alone. But is it really that simple? Does isolating racists in one area make the world safer? Or does it just create a hub where dangerous ideas grow stronger? History tells us that when hate groups cluster, it doesn't end well. So what do you think? Should people be okay with this?
To the white people that are like, oh my God, this is crazy. To that whites only town in Arkansas or Missouri, whatever backwoods town or state it's happening in, you do realize right now in 2025, that's what the Trump administration, MAGA, a whole float of white people are operating on. They want this a whites only country. You're just surprised because in that town are just saying it out loud in a way you can't turn your face away from. But Trump and his administration in America as a whole for centuries has been saying the same shit. I'll continue to say this. We are in the middle of a reckoning for white people, all of us. But there's no surprises here. None. When you have a government that is sending out ICE to kidnap immigrant men, women, and children, put them in American concentration camps, when you have a police force that frequently black men, women, and children, when you have a government that continues to destroy indigenous communities, when you have a government that pays for, when you have a government that has a white supremacist hand in Congo and Sudan and Haiti and all these other places across the world that causes death and destruction, when you have a government that is making their sole focus to destroy anything that involves diversity, equity, and inclusion, deleting black, indigenous people of color from historical archives, talking about how black history is divisive. Like the list goes on. When you have a government that runs off this idea that there's a white genocide, or that the white population is at risk of being destroyed. Like this, they are trying so hard to make this a whites only America. But the thing is, white people won't believe that unless another white person is like, hey, we're making a whites only community. Then it's like, oh my God, this is bad. No, black, indigenous people of color have been telling America this for literally hundreds of years. There are black creators, indigenous creators from other communities outside of whiteness every fucking day that are on this app telling the truth. But you won't believe that it's racism or white supremacy unless a white person purposefully tells you, hey, we're going to be super fucking racist and build a white supremacist town. Then you're like, oh, that's okay. It is real. Listen to black, indigenous people of color. They tell you the truth. They know us better than we know ourselves.